I have something to open up with you guys. I deceived a foreigner. And I think you know who's that foreigner is. Unlucky guy. So we will find out what are those things that usually Filipina say or do just to deceive.
I couldn't reach you all day, Chrissy. Where were you?
I was sleeping all day and I wasn't feeling good, but the status is off.
Chrissy, what's another reason that you were unavailable to return my texts?
A lying Filipina would say, I left my phone charging at home.
Oh, there was no electricity. You went to the waterfall with your family. It was a church outing.
Yes. Or I went to this friend and they don't have internet.
Today, we're going to teach level 2 Facebook bullshit detective skills. Develop a world-class crap detector.
Hi Rob.
Hi, Chrissy.
Nice to meet you. I want to video chat. Do you have Google Group or Skype?
I really prefer Messenger. Now, Chrissy's just sent me a message request from her Facebook profile. Before I just immediately call her back, I'm gonna jump on Facebook. I'm gonna open up her profile and I'm gonna see if it's public or private. And if it's private, I'm gonna send her a friend request, because when it comes to online dating overseas, it's trust but verify. We'll learn this simple skill of how to reverse engineer someone's Facebook page and look for red flags.
We are going to share the most important technique and skill that are needed to avoid bullshit and make a go and no-go decision.
When I asked why do people have 3-4 Facebook pages, I was told I couldn't remember the password, so I made a new page. I had been scammed and I had been taken advantage of, and I thought I had a world-class crap detector. And I did some investigation of Facebook pages, but I didn't drill down deep enough. Now, you don't want to be cynical and you don't want to come across as negative, and you want to have a love connection, and that requires you to be optimistic and give the other person the benefit of the doubt, because when you meet an amazing Filipina, you don't want that negativity to come through. However, you need to do your due diligence, and you need to do it in a way that can get results, unlike my initial attempts. So I'm just going to share with you briefly. Chrissy, I've told you about the girl in Dumaguete who I started to chat, and her profile was perfect. She had a young daughter, and we were video chatting an hour every morning, an hour every evening, and after a week or two I sent $100 because I noticed they weren't eating fish or any protein for breakfast. The poor girl was just eating like garden vegetables, it seemed, every day, and I sent $100. And I had looked at her Facebook page. She told me she had multiple Facebook pages. I could tell that there were linked accounts that were liking and interacting with her page, but I hadn't really drilled deep. But as I began to get attached, I decided to give a hard look. And I had shared with her a kind of humorous picture of my dog, which I had shown in a previous video, but I'll show it here now. And when I started using some of these skills that we're going to get into in a little more depth, sure enough, I found a Facebook account that was really not in one level linked, but it was 2 levels linked below. And there was the profile picture of this Facebook account had been changed to the picture of my dog. So boom, 5 years ago, my first attempt in online dating in the Philippines. Such a disaster, emotionally scammed, my own fault for sending $100. But yeah, what a lesson. And I kind of gave up. And then lesson number 2, during the pandemic, 3 years ago, I was single. I gave a real good faith effort. And this time I decided I was going to really drill into these Facebook pages. And I just ran into a lot of women that I was interested in who were unreliable. And I couldn't see, when I started drilling into their Facebook pages, I became disenchanted and I didn't want to invest my time. There were too many loose ends. It's sort of like a job interview where someone has a gap in their employment and you don't want to hire them because you just don't know there's a missing 2 years and you don't know if they were in jail or where or they got fired. Well, so I just got discouraged and I ended up meeting someone from Negros Oriental who was more of a friend, and but I began to have feelings, and I invested time, and I started to think, oh, I'm starting to become more than a friend. I'm starting to become emotionally attached. I better go and take a hard look at that Facebook page again, a second deep dive. And during that second deep dive, I've mentioned this once before, I found that her page was just perfect. I missed the fact that she had received flowers. I noticed she had received flowers on Valentine's Day, and I was a little suspicious about who sent her flowers at her college on Valentine's Day. And I may have asked her about it, and she said it was a girlfriend. But I did notice that. But this second deep dive, I linked over to her sister's Facebook page, and I looked at her sister's Facebook page for quite a while, and then I noticed about a year back that her mother had commented, or her mother was a friend. And I thought, that's odd. I didn't see her mother as a friend on the initial girl I'm talking to's Facebook page. So I linked over to the mother, and it took a little bit of effort. There was a lot of posting. I had to go back 8 months on her mother's page, but then there it was, what I was looking for. Pictures of the family at the beach, promise ceremony, engagement ring, two weeks at an Airbnb playing honeymoon with a guy from the Midwest, and the girl I was chatting to every morning for an hour and a half, she was chatting to her fiance from Ohio who had already made the trip out to the Philippines. I'm not exactly sure why she was chatting me or what the story was with the other relationship, but this woman was having multiple conversations. She'd already met and had relationships with the other man. And there it was in black and white, busted. And I kind of was so disgusted. I gave up. I thought, that's it. This dream of meeting a Filipina online is never going to happen. Maybe one day I'll go boots on the ground. And then only this time, when I met Chrissy, I was just dumb luck maybe, because I was tenacious. I persevered. But I looked at your Facebook page.
Yes.
And I looked hard. I had some questions for you, and I did the most obvious things. What about you? When you first met me, was there some due diligence involved?
Yes, of course. This is what I do every time there's a man that will approach me and start talking to me.
Yeah.
First, I'm gonna ask of their real name and of course their Facebook account. And then I have to dig in while talking to them, so it will not be obvious that you are diving in their accounts. So maybe I will throw a lot of questions that is not obviously linked to their account, so that they will not know that I am diving into their accounts. Because I think, especially in your very first week of meeting, it's not ideal for you.
Not a good look.
Not a good look for you to tell them or make them aware that you are looking into their accounts.
Yes.
But it is very wise for you to do that. So if the account only have profile picture and a page picture, and aside from that there's nothing else, I'm gonna tell you that's a dummy account. That's
Red
not
flag.
the real account.
Yes.
Big red flag. Second, if the Facebook is not set into public or it's locked, it means he's hiding something from the public. Third that I'm gonna watch is, if he will not accept my friend request, it means there's something in there that he doesn't want me to see.
So obviously Facebook, you've got private settings and public settings, and there are a lot of Filipinas that have public settings. I don't think they thought I want to be public or I want to be private, but the default is public, and a lot of people just proceed. And many people watching, they probably have public settings. It takes a little bit of time and effort to go ahead and make your settings private and to clean up your page. One of the things that people will see is when you accept a friend request, it's going to be on your page as one of your newer friends. They'll be kind of displayed in a prominent way. So if you've just been to Thailand and you've accepted 4 friend requests and now you're on your way to the Philippines, well, when you give her your Facebook page, she's going to see that you got 4 Thai women as recent friends. Maybe that's not a look you want to go with. So you might want to have a private page until you meet that special someone. But as a due diligence detective, a bullshit detector, you want to get public pages of the Filipinas, of the woman or the significant others you're investigating. So you're interested in getting access to that Facebook page. And what are you going to do when you get access? And the first thing you're going to do, you know, everybody knows how to do a once-over. So do your once-over. But this is what I want to tell you. Look for significant dates. So you're going to look for birthdays, you're going to look for Valentine's Day, you're going to look for a vacation the person may have gone on, and you're going to look for holidays. Drill into those times of year. Now, if you see content not available, because what happens is when you decide, let's say you're in a relationship, or your Filipinas, you know, got a boyfriend and they're off at the resort and they're at 5-star resort, photos at the pool in a bikini and the tattoos revealed. And then now she's going online and she met, like, you know, a very religious man or a very interesting man she's interested in. She's going to make that content not available. And she could make it not available to just you. It could be still available to everyone else, but she can go in there and make that not available to you. And because when you post, you can really identify who gets to see the post, or you could remove someone. So those dates with those unavailable events are really important as we proceed to reverse engineer the bullshit Facebook pages of your potential long-distance dating partner that you met online. The easiest and first thing to do is just look through their photos, look through their timeline, and look through their friends list. If you've got a fully public page, which many Filipinos do, even though they got multiple pages, one of the reasons why it's public is because they have multiple Facebook pages. So the one they show you is just public. They don't care to hide anything on that page because that's the public page. Well, the first thing you want to do is look at the friends list and immediately look for Western men. Or in the Philippines, there's a lot of Western names like John, Johnny, David, first names. But the last names are always going to be Hispanic sounding, Spanish sounding names. So look for English or Western or Japanese last names. Open up those profiles. If they're public, look into those profiles. Look what's going on Valentine's Day. Look what's going on the girl's birthday. Look if they have content posted on the dates that your girl or guy has removed the content. So this is level 1. And I think in my example earlier, you know, I did level 1, but I didn't do level 1 is done. Now it's time to take the deep dive. The skill that we're teaching today, that most foreign men, most Filipino women, they're just not going to take the time to get down to level 2. And in level 2, you're going to find out that your dog's been used as the profile page. You're going to find out that the woman you've been chatting to for 2 months has a fiance. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to look at the Facebook page and you're going to look at individual postings, and you're going to see, 55 likes, and people give thumbs up and they give hearts and they comment. Now the comments we looked through earlier, they're the more obvious. And if there's a comment from somebody she's trying to hide or he's trying to hide, she probably would have deleted the comment or maybe made that content unavailable. So it's the likes and hearts and funny faces of emojis. They're all over the page, but people think, who's going to look into this? And they don't hide it, they don't delete it. So here's what we want to do. We want to open up, we want to click on those funny faces and those thumbs up, and we're going to get a list of we're going to get little pictures of all the profiles of people who liked, and we're looking for who is most often liking, who's most consistent, like 100% of the time the person likes, or if they send a heart. However, what you're going to see are you're going to look for the most prolific, the people who consistently affirm. They give affirmation to the Filipino. They give affirmation to the Western man. So when a woman is constantly liking a post, or a man is constantly liking a post, red flag. Maybe there's a strong connection. You're looking for a strong emotional connection. What is driving that constant affirmation? And this is how you're going to find the second Facebook page, or the baby daddy, or the Filipino boyfriend who might be showing up as a guest at the wedding one day. So those pages, when the Filipina manipulates her second or third or fourth page, she tends to like her own post. She tends to like the posts of her baby daddy. She tends to like other things, and that's going to start to form a pattern. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for patterns within the likes. We're looking for Western men. We're looking for potential girlfriends if it's a man that you're looking into. We're looking for the second Facebook page that she didn't share from you, and there's a strong chance that her second or third Facebook page has interactivity with this page that she did share with you. And when you find that second page, and that, I don't think it's that hard to find that second page. Like your son has a page that was instantly available to find because you would tag him when you posted.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they'll tag the second page, but quite often that second page will like the first page. You can find that second page. Now on that second page, when you start to do this level 2 due diligence of looking into the likes and the hearts and the thumbs up, you're going to start to see where the boyfriends and the other Western men are sending likes and hearts. And now you can kind of drill in and look back at those dates, Valentine's Day, birthdays, other times of the year where people who are emotionally involved will provide a lot of affirmation, maybe evidence they sent a gift. In my case, I found a person who was very often, it took me a while, but I found a person who was always liking or hearting, and I went to that profile. There was a picture of my dog. Boom. 45 minutes into my level 2 due diligence, I realized I was talking to somebody that I couldn't trust, somebody who would take a picture I shared with her and provide it to a Filipino man who was really tightly emotionally involved with her, and he would use it as his profile picture of all things. So that's the types of things you'll find. Now, you got to be careful. You don't want to be detective turnoff. You want to be someone who does this when they have to make a go, no-go decision, and then when you start to get emotionally involved, you need to do that level 2 due diligence. Not only what Chrissy mentioned, the Instagram and these other things, LinkedIn if you have access to it to see their job, are they employed? If the man says he's divorced, well, in my county in Arizona, you can just go online and type in my first and last name and you will see my divorce filing right there. You don't even have to know the date or the year, you just put in the name, boom, it comes right up. So if you're a Filipino watching this and you have a Western man in America, it's quite probable his divorce filing is public information. Here in the Philippines, if you're a Western man, you don't have many tools like that you can rely on.
Talking about Facebook, some of the sign that your Filipina may hiding something from you is like when their status is always off. You cannot see them online, you cannot see them offline, or when did the last time they go online? Status perfectly just shut down.
Yeah, so if you are talking in Facebook or even WhatsApp, there are settings where if you don't want people to know you're online, you can change them. But if you're wide open and your Filipina's online and then you text her and then an hour goes by and she doesn't text you back, well, she doesn't want you to see that she's chatting another Western man online. So she's going to change that setting. So that's a red flag.
Red flag.
What other red flags? Like excuses, like I couldn't reach you all day, Chrissy. Where were you?
I was sleeping all day and I wasn't feeling good, but the status is off.
Chrissy, what's another reason that you were unavailable to return my texts?
A lying Filipina would say, I left my phone charging at home.
Oh, there was no electricity. You went to the waterfall with your family. It was a church outing.
Yes. Or I went to this friend and they don't have internet.
Oh, and a Western man. Well, Western man. So for the Filipinos watching, there's this saying that women are kind of blind to this information, but you need to know if you're dating in person, if you can't see your man's shoelaces, he's not that into you. Because a man will drag himself through broken glass to get to a woman he loves. And if the man is in town, if he's in the Philippines and he's not with you, he's not that into you. That's it. Period. The end. Stop overthinking it. But if it's a long distance relationship, okay, how do we interpret that? If he's not available, if he's not present, if he's not online, if he doesn't answer your text, well, as a man, I can tell you, he's not that into you. Because remember, a man will drag himself over broken glass to get to a woman he loves. You know, if he will drive 2 hours through the snow to spend 2 hours with you and then go back to work. But when he makes excuses, oh, it's an 8-hour drive. Oh, you know, I was with family and I couldn't get away. I was at a work conference. You know, really, people take bathroom breaks. You can text on the toilet. You can get away for 10 minutes every 2 hours at a work conference. You can find time to be in communication with someone you love. So when your lover or you're someone in a long distance relationship that you feel you have that emotional attachment, they go missing. Bullshit. So there you have it, folks. Another top tip from Fly Me to the Philippines, the Filipina perspective, the Western perspective. You know, in the world of online dating, deception is prevalent. Catfishing, people with multiple social media accounts. People sometimes are just, you know, doing what's in their best interest. The Filipina is juggling 2 or 3 Western men because she really wants to meet a Western man and she can't trust that one of them's going to actually show up or one of them's going to really come here and marry her or change her life. The man would like to meet a Filipina, but, you know, the men sometimes, you know, passport bros. And so what does the Filipina say when she hears her man's coming to the Philippines? I'll meet you at
The airport.
Yeah, she's like, you're a woman, realize if you can't see his shoelaces, he's not really that into you. And Chrissy, what would you say?
Well, my advice is just don't ignore red flags. If you see some red flags, investigate. Not in a harsh way, but in a step-by-step process.
You got to do it in a way where you do it in private and you do it well, and then make that go/no-go decision. We're looking for you here in the Philippines. When you're successful, come join us in CDO, come join us in the Philippines, but do your due diligence before you proceed.